Let's have a little look about Akhmed Yakoob and his mates, all talking about game over Israel.
6th of November, it's game over for Maccabi Tel Aviv and Israel. Protesters are coming from all over the UK peacefully. We're going to protest with our families and let people know the frustration that we have. Israel should not be in FIFA. There's over 30 organizations that are involved and the numbers are going to be huge.
Absolutely. My message to those right-wing extremists and the barbaric Israeli supporters who are supporting Maccabi Tel Aviv, that the city of Birmingham and moreover Aston is the home of lions.
Lions, and we will not just remain silent when genocidal complicits come in and play football in our city. Remember that. I urge all the youth to be peaceful and not to cover their faces on that day. We want to send a clear message of peace and justice.
Birmingham is united against Israel. Okay, game over for Israel on 6th of November.
Remember that.
Game over.
Game over.
Right, well, we can actually welcome to the show Akhmed Yakoob in person. Hello there, Akhmed. Thank you for joining me today. Game over Israel. Why can't Israeli fans come and watch football in Birmingham?
Well, this particular team, their fans are very violent, they're racist, and they were screaming chants like "Ole, ole." There are no schools left in Gaza because we have killed all the children. We are going to rape Arab women and all sorts. So, of course, we don't want these people around here.
Would it be fair to say, then, if you have people who look at, let's say, the horrors, the disgusting crimes of rape gangs, saying, well, that's it, we shouldn't have the Pakistani cricket team coming to the United Kingdom?
Well, if you, there's a video going around where IDF soldiers are raping Palestinians. And
I've seen, look, I've just come back from Israel. I've seen videos of October the 7th and what Hamas did.
Yeah, but you saw the video where the IDF are raping Palestinians.
But what's that got to do with an Israeli football fan?
You just mentioned something about rape, so I'm going back to that.
But does it not seem a little bit like a form of apartheid when you are saying in Birmingham that this group of people are not allowed in?
No, it's the Israeli regime that is apartheid regime. Palestinians allowed to travel freely.
But you're saying that they can't travel freely in Birmingham?
Palestine.
What's the difference?
I didn't say that. I said in Israel, Palestinians in Israel don't have right of free movement. They are living under apartheid.
I've just come back from Israel and I would challenge that, but that is not what we're talking about. But you're now saying that Israelis aren't allowed to come to Birmingham. What gives you the right to decide that?
Well, first of all, it's the football fans, the hooligans, that were not allowed, and that was because of intelligence received from Dutch authorities by the West Midlands Police, and we have to respect their decision. It's not my decision, it's the decision of the West Midlands Police.
This is because that they wouldn't be safe, given the sort of protests that you're organising. I would imagine that they wouldn't be safe at all.
No, the actual intelligence, Alex, you're getting mistaken.
I'm not mistaken on this.
No, I'm telling you the truth. West Midlands Police, the intelligence received by them from the Dutch authorities was that the public of Birmingham won't be safe from these Maccabi Tel Aviv fans, not the other way around.
I know full well what's happened in Amsterdam when Maccabi Tel Aviv went to play there, and there was a Jew hunt going on. I have seen the WhatsApp messages of people trying to organise targeting those football fans. But what I'm asking you is surely football...
If you go onto the Dutch police website, you'll get a totally different picture. You're looking at it from an Israeli eye.
Let's say that that is true. Let's say that is true, and we're going to look at...
You're talking over me. Alex, you're looking at things from the eyes of your puppet masters. That's the problem.
Oh, my puppet masters, who are they?
Israel.
Oh, I didn't realise that they were employing me. I thought it was Rupert Murdoch and News Corp. I better check that a bit later on when I look at my payslip. But if we are going to look at facts and who has the greatest level of moral rectitude, let's look at a few facts about you. You were charged with money laundering. You've got your trial next year. You falsely accused a Labour candidate, Jodie Wells, of racism. You've had to settle with her. That woman was in fear for her life. You were detained by counter-terror police. You hardly shower yourself with glory, do you?
innocent until proven guilty. We have a rule of law in England.
Yeah.
And it's innocent until proven guilty, Alex.
Let me ask you about that, the rule of law in England, because I've noticed one of your adverts that you've put out about your law firm, which also has a branch in Pakistan. Let's have a look.
Welcome to Morris Andrews Solicitors in Pakistan. We are based in downtown DHA Sector 2. We can help you with your issues in the UK whilst you are in Pakistan. I'm going to leave the contact details below on how you can get in touch with me or a member of my team whilst you have criminal proceedings in the UK and you may have come to visit Pakistan. Always remember, there is a defense for every offense.
Ah, there is a defence for every offence. Who are the sort of people you're inviting to represent there? What sort of issues might they be trying to avoid by coming to Pakistan?
No, not avoid coming to Pakistan. That message was from people who are on the run in Pakistan. I'm advising them to surrender themselves to the UK authorities, and I will assist them in that.
OK, well, what sort of things might they be surrendering themselves for? I mean, give me an example.
Something that they could be accused of, for example, assault.
OK, so someone's come on the run to Pakistan, rather than just contact the police and say, right, they should be facing deportation, you're happy to help represent them when they come back to Britain to face the full force of the law?
Of course, because they have a right to a fair representation and a right to a fair trial. That's why we live in the UK. We must respect the law of the UK, like we must respect West Midlands Police decision for banning these hooligans and these racist fans.
How do you know that all these fans are supposedly racist?
Well, the majority of the clips that we have seen, and they're going around saying that they're going to rape Arab women and there's no schools left in Gaza, doesn't that sound racist to you, Alex?
Well, certainly if there are certain clips that are being distributed.
It's okay because it's against Muslims, isn't it, and Arabs. It's okay, isn't it?
No, what I am saying, no, of course it's not okay. I wouldn't condone any woman being raped. And what we've seen in the United Kingdom, actually, is a huge blight of this, a pandemic of young girls being groomed and assaulted. But let's go back to the case in hand. When I've spoken to people living in Birmingham about this, they're terrified. They think there's something really quite sinister about the idea that there are now going to be a huge march. I don't know if we've still got them. That's good. A huge march of people who you're calling on, 300,000 odd people to march through the streets to protest against I don't really know what, because the fans already aren't allowed to travel. They're terrified. They find this deeply sinister. What do you have to say about that?
Well, they need to realize that Israel are committing a plausible genocide, and there's evidence of plausible genocide, and that's not me.
But what's that got to do with the citizens of Birmingham? The schools are having to be shut early. Isn't that a matter for the UN?
That's the International Criminal Court saying it, and we are protesting against this particular team because they are from Israel, and we are protesting any team that is from Israel because Israel are committing a genocide.
What would be the difference? What would be the difference then of English cricket fans protesting the Pakistani cricket team coming?
You're not letting me finish.
No, but what is the difference?
What was the point of you bringing me on if you're not going to let me finish my questions or my answers?
Be my guest.
Okay. So my apologies to any football fan that is facing any sort of trouble get into the game. I do apologise, and I apologise on behalf of the protesters. But one thing every Villa supporter needs to realise, and every British person needs to realise, that we are with England, we are with Villa, we are against Israel, and we are against Maccabi Tel Aviv. We are not against England. We are British. We love England.
So if you loved England, what do you feel about citizens of Birmingham, citizens of Aston, saying that this makes them feel deeply, deeply uncomfortable? I spoke to one man who said that he's scared now of going to certain parts of Birmingham, not because he's Jewish, but because he's white.
That's not the case. I had a lot of people in my campaign who are white, and they were assisting me in my campaign. That's utter nonsense. There are no no-go zones in Birmingham.
Well, it seems to me most of Birmingham's going to become a no-go zone tonight. Schools are having to be closed early. People are having to avoid coming into anywhere near the football grounds because of this. You're encouraging up to 300,000 people to march.
Well, they have it's their democratic right to march. Sorry, have you still got me?
Yes,
Sorry.
yes, I do.
Yeah, they have a democratic right to protest and they have a democratic right to march, Alex. They're not doing anything wrong. They're not going against the law. They are staying within the remits of the law. So there's nothing wrong in what they're doing.
Do you think that there's any risk of this going to break out into any sort of violence or disturbance or trouble?
Look, of course, and I'll be the first to say that's why I'm at the forefront. And if you see my videos from last night, all I've been advocating for is peace, for youth not to have their faces covered, not to carry any weapons, and make this a show of peace and unity. And that's why I'm at the forefront of this, because we don't want to let the youths loose. In Aston, especially if the far right are coming, there need to be buffers in place, and I'm acting like a buffer between the youth, the far right, and the police. I'm trying to assist the situation here. If I don't be on the front lines, the youth in Birmingham do look up to me and they do listen to me somewhat. So if I don't be on the front line, it will be disastrous.
If you say so. Perhaps we'll catch up once tonight has passed. Akhmed Yakoob, thank you ever so much for coming on to the programme. Well, let's speak now to Max Radford, who is a Maccabi Tel Aviv fan. Hi, Max. I mean, you shouldn't be going to this match tonight. You shouldn't be anywhere near Birmingham. You're the problem.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, Birmingham really is now a Juden-free zone. I mean, it's like 1939 Poland. As you've probably seen what they've been putting around the city, the signs, the street signs, the flags, they've literally turned it into a Juden-free zone. I mean, it's like a pre-Holocaust behaviour. But I must tell you, I really, really actually enjoyed that interview with Yakoob, because it actually showed him to be what a total fraud he is. Every single word. He said, I'm telling you the truth, and then didn't proceed to tell a single word of truth. Or maybe he did one. Actually, he said something about no schools in Gaza, which I found interesting. But that is actually true. There are no schools in Gaza because Hamas turned them into terror bases. And that's why there are no schools in Gaza. Maybe, Alex, we can kind of step back to why this has all come about. Because he mentioned, obviously, Amsterdam, and he mentioned what happened there. So, as it's well known and well evidenced, what happened in Amsterdam was a pogrom. And it was an ambush, and it was a pre-organised ambush. The accusations of the Maccabi Tel Aviv fans, and I can tell you as one, although I live in the UK and I support other teams, but Maccabi Tel Aviv is my Israel team for sure. It is a total fraud. Many of my friends were there at that game. The things that he's saying that they were singing is absolutely not true. The video that he claims about accusation of rape was clearly doctored AI, fake video that's completely been disproved. Literally none of that happened. What is really, really interesting and is really being proven by what's going on in Birmingham now is that the big scary thing was that Maccabi Tel Aviv fans were going to come to Birmingham and they're the big bad devil, as he would say. And yet there's 700 police and everything that Nick has just shown us that's going on in Birmingham. And there are no Maccabi Tel Aviv fans there. So clearly the real problem is actually the people in Birmingham who are doing this, because that's who the police are there to protect against, certainly not against Maccabi fans,